Again, it's a rich thing.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to talk about why and how to build your first own website. So let us get right into it. Alright, so let us start talking about why you should have your own website. And I think nowadays everyone should have their own website no matter what they're doing. So if you're just a regular person, an artist, let's say, for example, you want to have a website to showcase your work. Same thing if you're a programmer looking for a job. You don't even have to have a business. You don't have to be a content creator. You can just look for a job, but the best way to look for a job is to have some projects on the site. So you want to have a good GitHub portfolio, and you want to have your own website where you can say, okay, look, I'm XYZ, and those are my projects, those are my skills. You want to have your resume on a website. Of course, if you have a personal brand or a company, or if you're a content creator, you want to have your own website. If you want to have a blog, you want to have your own website. If you want to have a shop, you want to have your own website. This is, in nowadays world, a must, especially if you're doing anything that is done remotely online. You want to have your online presence on your own website, not just on YouTube, not just on Instagram. You want to have your own website. For content production, for just being out there so that people can find you and contact you. So for example, for me, I have NeuralNine.com. Here you can see just my logo, some blog posts, some videos, some GitHub projects listed. You can see my books tab where I can promote my books. So everyone who likes NeuralNine, no matter how they find me, maybe they find me through my books, maybe they find me through YouTube, through Instagram, they go to this webpage and see, okay, he's selling books, maybe I'm buying these books. I can look for videos here, I can visit the shop here. So this is a central page where you can just promote your work, and even if you're not selling anything, you can just promote yourself as a person. So I think that you should definitely have a website. And one good thing to do is, if you don't have a name like John Smith that is taken like 1,000 times, I would highly recommend you to reserve your domain. So for example, in my case, floriandedov.com, you should just have your name .com as a domain. You should just reserve that. So this is very important. You should have your own website. And now that we know that, let's talk about how to get there. Alright, so we're going to need two things in order to create our website. The first thing is a domain name. We talked about this already. So where are people going to find your website? In my case, NeuralNine.com or floriandedov.com. Whatever you have as a domain name. And the second thing is a hosting service. So some service that allows you to host your website. Unless, of course, you have some big computer at home and you want to connect it to the internet, some server, which is highly insecure, I would not recommend that. You will need a hosting service. And the good thing about this video is that it is sponsored by Hostinger, which is one of those hosting services. And this time, I would not recommend skipping the sponsorship part, because this is not just some sponsorship that we include in the video here because the video is sponsored. This is actually what we're going to do today. We're going to build our own first website here using Hostinger. So this is not just me promoting them, this is me introducing what we're going to use today. So I would not skip that part. Hostinger, the good thing about them is, there are many good things about them. First of all, they are very fair with their pricing, so they have a very good price to quality ratio. You can take a look at their prices if you're interested in them. They have different plans here, so you can just go to hostinger.com/pricing and look into that. They're very beginner friendly. They have Q&A dialogues that set up everything for you. Of course, you can also do it manually. But if you're new to the web world and you build your first website, you don't know anything about it, they have good step-by-step Q&As to help you build your website. They have a 99.9% uptime guarantee, so you're not going to have your website down all the time for some technical issues. And one thing that's very important is they're optimized for WordPress. At least the product we're going to use today is optimized for WordPress. And WordPress is also what I'm using on NeuralNine.com. So I have built my page using WordPress. Now, of course, you can also choose to build your page with something else. So for example, you can just set up Django or Flask and build your website or web app. But this is way more complicated. And I think especially for beginners, WordPress is the perfect tool to build your website. And Hostinger is optimized for WordPress. And of course, they also have a 365 days 24/7 support, so you can also always chat with them, and you're always going to get some help if you need it. You're going to get a free domain and a free encryption certificate. What is an encryption certificate? It's also something very important. When you go to NeuralNine.com, this looks secure. Why does it look secure? Because you can see HTTPS, you can see the certificate here, connection secure, and this is what they also provide for free. And the special thing about this video, why it's going to be so interesting to you, is because you will need a hosting provider, and for Hostinger, you are going to get a coupon code called NeuralNine. So let's just go through the process. Let's say we select some plan. You can select whatever plan you want. I'm just doing something here. So we select a plan, we add it, and what you can do down here is you can say, have a coupon code? Yes, you do have a coupon code. And this coupon code is NeuralNine, and you're going to get some better prices here. So by using NeuralNine.com on different products, you're going to get cheaper prices if you're interested in hosting your own website. So I can highly recommend you to do that. You will find everything in the description down below as well. And one thing that you're also going to maybe be interested in is that they don't just offer like PHP WordPress stuff. They also offer different types of hosting. So maybe if this promotion is kind of good, if you guys like this video and if you guys also like Hostinger, maybe we will find a way to make a second video which is sponsored, and maybe they're going to offer us some other servers that we can use for a Django web app or for a Flask web app. So it depends on you if you like it or not, but that is what we're going to use in today's video. All right, now let us start with the actual process. Now the first thing you need to do is you need to log into your hosting service. In my case, it's Hostinger, so if you also have Hostinger, you're going to be able to follow along with all the steps step by step. But the steps should also be applicable to other hosting services as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the setup part, and we're going to go to premium shared hosting, which is the plan that I have here. And we're going to click on setup, because the good thing about Hostinger is that they offer you simple Q&A dialogues that you can use to set up your website. So we're going to click on start now, and we're going to have to answer a bunch of questions here. So I am creating a website for in this case, I'm going to say I'm creating it for myself, because we're going to build a basic page similar to NeuralNine. So let's say someone has an online brand, maybe not necessarily as a YouTuber, but as a coder or as a blogger, whatever, and they want to have their website. So it will be a business website, a blog website, a portfolio website, an online store, whatever. In this case, let's just go with a simple blog. And I am a professional website creator, experienced in creating multiple websites, a beginner but have some experience or creating my first website. So depending on your skill level, they're going to ask you different questions. If you have never done anything like this before, you can click on that. A beginner but I have some experience, you can click on that. And of course, if you're a professional website creator, they're not going to take you by the hand so much. I'm going to go with that option because I don't want to get tutorials for every single detail. So I'm going to click that. And then I can just go and create a website here. So what do they say here? Create an amazing website in minutes. We're not going to use Zyro because we want to do a WordPress website. So we're going to choose other options down here. And you can see already that I can choose a platform here. And as I already mentioned, NeuralNine.com is based on WordPress. So WordPress is what we're going to use here as well. And we're going to just click here on WordPress Select, create a WordPress account. We're going to use mail@neuralnine.com here, and we're going to choose a basic password in this case. And we're going to continue. I'm going to save it for this time so that I don't forget it, because I chose an unusual password. And we can also already just look for a basic template. So let's say skip. I don't need a template for now. And we can claim our free domain since we have the premium model. So we're going to go to select, and we're going to pick what can we get here, .com. Let's just call it neuraltutorial.com. Search. Let's see if it's available. It is. So let's go with continue. Let's finish setting up, and you can see, okay, I have a website location, Europe, Netherlands. I have neuraltutorial.com. WordPress, your admin mail is mail@neuralnine.com. So let's finish the setup, and it should be done for us. So this will take a couple of minutes, and we're going to skip that part so I don't bore you with the video. And once it's done, we're going to come back here. So once we're done with the process, this is what it looks like. It says your website is ready, and we can go to manage WordPress, or we can go to manage the site in the control panel. Now, I haven't finished the neuraltutorial.com registration, so we need to do that first. Finish registration. We choose a company, not a company, a country here. What is that? Information required. Oh, okay. It wants my information, so I'm just going to provide Austria, personal, or actually I'm a company, so next step. I'm going to enter the contact details here, and you should do that as well, but I'm not going to show this on video because I don't want to just display all the information here in this video, so I'm going to make a cut here. All right, so once you have provided all the information and also confirmed it via email, you want to go to hosting, which is the second tab here, so hostinger.com hosting, and then you want to go to your domain. So in this case, neuraltutorial.com. We're going to go to edit website, and this is going to automatically refer us to the WordPress thing. So if you want to go there manually, you go to hosting, then you go to manage, and if you click on manage, you're going to see that you have the WordPress dashboard here, which is, by the way, not the only thing that we can do here, of course, but we're going to click on WordPress dashboard because this is what we're going to use here. We can set up all kinds of things here, but for now we're going to focus on just edit website. So we're going to click on edit website right here, and it's going to refer us to neuraltutorial.com/WordPress admin. So this is actually where we're logged in, and it's going to automatically log us in already here, as you can see. And this is where we're going to set up the page. This is also what NeuralNine.com looks like in the back end. So this is where we do everything. And the first thing we want to do is, of course, we can just go and say neuraltutorial.com. And you can see this is what the web page looks like right now. This is not beautiful. We don't want to have a website like this. This is just a default theme by WordPress. So if you want to have a better theme, you just go to Appearance and to Themes, and we can now browse the different themes. So we can go here to Add New. And the one that I use on my website and that we're going to use for this tutorial is called Ocean WP. So Ocean WordPress. We're going to click on it. You can see the previews here. Now, of course, this looks different from NeuralNine.com because this is just a template. We can customize it. So we click on install here. It's going to take a while. And what we're going to do in this video, since we're not going to go through all the WordPress features and all the Hostinger features and all the things that we can set up, we're just going to make a basic web page where I'm going to show you the system on how I create content on my web page. So we're going to use a theme like Ocean VP, for example, or WP, for example, and we're going to use a key plugin called Elementor, because Elementor is a plugin that allows you to easily create your own website without needing to do any programming whatsoever, neither JavaScript nor anything else. As you can see, the theme is now installed, so we're just going to click on Activate, and once this is done, we should be able to see a difference here. There you go. It still doesn't look very good because we don't have a lot of things happening here. But we're now going to, first of all, install Elementor as a plugin. So we're going to go to Plugins, and we're going to say, where is it? Add New up here. Plugins, Add New. And the plugin that we're looking for is called Elementor. Elementor. There you go. Elementor Website Builder. This is the right one. And on my page, I also use the essential add-ons for Elementor, because what Elementor is basically just a tool that allows you to build the website with certain elements. So you drag and drop stuff like text fields and sliders and separators and image boxes and so on. And you have a limited amount of features, and they have some pro features. And what essential add-ons for Elementor does is it gives you some free packages or free elements that you can include to Elementor in addition to what you already have. So we're going to also use that. I'm not sure if we can click both. Yeah, both are installing, so we're going to wait for them to install, and then we're going to proceed. All right, so we're now done with the installation. We're going to activate both of them. So we click on Activate here, and we click on, okay, first of all, we need to go through that, create your first page. No, just close this. I want to activate the other one as well. So we go back to Plugins, and we activate this one as well. So essential add-ons for Elementor, we activated as well. And what do we have here? We have a dialog. We're just going to go with basic. You can see the elements. You can check them on and off if you want to. We're just going to go with next, next, next. We're going to go with next here, and we're going to go with finish. There you go. So that was quite simple. You don't have to be confused by all the options. And now the important thing is that we have these pages here, and those pages usually are not designed with Elementor, but since we have the plugin Elementor, we can now just go ahead and create them with Elementor. So we're going to first create a new page here. So we're going to click on add new, and we're going to call this page home in our case, or this is going to be our home page, our basic main page. And you can see we're already in Elementor here. Or we're not in Elementor here. We're in the block editor, but we're going to activate Elementor now. And we're going to do it up here. But one thing that you need to keep in mind here, the basic settings like the title or like some description stuff is not going to be done in Elementor. Elementor is just for the content of the page. So if we want to have a specific name, we should do it in here. So we can say, for example, add title is going to be home, or we're going to call this page home in general. We're not going to focus now too much on meta keywords and so on. We're just going to click on a text below to insert variables into your title. No thanks, we're just going to use it like that. So page title, site title, a title is fine. So home, neuraltutorial.com. And we're now going to click on edit with Elementor up here in order to actually change something about the page. So we're going to click on that, and we're now going to go into Elementor, which is the main tool that we're using in order to build our website. And it's also the main thing that I'm using on my website, NeuralNine.com, to actually create something. So this is, if we go to NeuralNine.com, this is exactly how I built my web page. So you can see on the left here, you have certain elements, for example, intersection, image, text editor, button, video, divider, so on. And you have some pro features. They cost money. So if you don't plan on buying Elementor, I would just close them off. And here you can see also some other stuff like general stuff. And down here, you can see the essential add-ons. They are free. This is the plugin that we installed. So you can see all sorts of things, but we also have some locked things. So those cost money. But you can use all these elements here. So for example, what can we do here? We can start with a basic heading. We just pull it in here, drag and drop it. And you can choose a text, for example, welcome to Neural Tutorials, for example. And we can change this to H1. We can change the style here. We can say, okay, I don't want this to be blue. I want it to be black. And I want to have a different font. So let's go with, actually I like Roboto, so we're going to keep that, but I'm going to increase the size here. This looks fine. We can set all sorts of settings, even some advanced stuff like margin and padding and animations. So where was the animation actually? Was it here? Motion effects. Was it that? Entrance animation. There you go. So when someone enters a page, we can say, okay, we want to have this animation. We want it to bounce down. We want it to, I don't know, wobble or something. I would not recommend that. But this is something that you can easily do with Elementor. You just drag in elements and you manipulate them easily by just clicking on them and setting some animations or other settings. So now we can also go ahead and say, okay, let's pick an image here. Now, you can just upload an image. I'm not going to do this right now. I'm just showing you that this is possible. So you upload an image into WordPress, or you can just link to an image. You can align it if it wasn't that big here. And you can also send, you can also set a link here. And for the style, you can adjust the style here, the width, for example. Now we can also center it, as you can see. So you can easily scale the picture. You can make it a little bit more transparent, as you can see here. And of course, we can also do the motion effects here. So if you have a picture, you want to fade it down. This also works pretty well. I'm going to leave it empty for now. And we can do all sorts of things like text. Let me just put in some text here. This is actually exactly really the text that I wanted to put in here because I was looking for this text. Just some basic sample text. And in this case, maybe you say, okay, it looks ugly. I want to have it differently. What do? You go to style. You say, okay, I want to have it justified. Okay. I want to have a different text color. Maybe you want to have it black here. You want to have a different font size. Let's say I want to have it a little bit larger here. And we want to have, yeah, this font is actually fine. And we want to have a different font weight like that, for example. And all sorts of things. For example, margin, we can now say, okay, I want to have the text be more into the middle. And maybe, you know, I don't want all these values to increase at the same time. So we're just going to unlink them. We're going to say, okay, top 0, bottom 0. And here we're going to say 200, 200. There you go. If you want it like that. Let's say, for example. So all sorts of different things, and this is how you basically build very simple websites. You don't need to be a good programmer, you don't need to be a good designer, you just have to play around with these elements. I'm going to show you in a second how it looks when we're done. And you can even use some more advanced stuff here, like a countdown, for example. Let's say you're so cool and you want to have a countdown on your website, because let's say on the 30th of June, at 12 a.m. you have a certain event and everyone is waiting for that event. So you can just have this countdown here. I've never used this block, so let's play around with the settings a little bit. Content settings, you can see all sorts of different things. For example, display days or not. Or what can we do here? What can we do? We can go with the different positions. We can display individual things. We can also set certain labels for the individual things. So maybe this is not something we can see because the colors are bad. So maybe we can change that here. Do we have a color? Box back color. There you go. So now we can see it. If we choose something like that, you can see 1 day, 8 hours, 34 minutes, 12 seconds, and it's being a countdown. So I can just go to publish here. And I should be able to go to neural tutorial/home, or maybe not /home. Let's see what it actually was. So we're going to go back to the dashboard. So we're going to click on exit to dashboard here, and we're going to see what the actual URL is. And I'm also going to show you in a second here how we can make this the default landing page, the default start page. So first of all, we're going to update it here, and then we're going to, where is it? Permalink. Is it there? There you go. Page ID equals 5. This is the page, as you can see. So this is what it looks like when it's done. This is the actual page. So if you go to that, you're going to see it. But besides that, this is not what we're now interested in. We want to have this as the main page. So when someone goes to neuraltutorial.com, we want this person to go to that page. How do we do that? We go to appearance and we go to customize. This is where we can set those things. So we go to customize, and this is actually customizing the Ocean VP or the Ocean WP theme. And this should be done at homepage settings, I think. So we're going to go to that, and there you go. Your homepage displays your latest posts. No, we don't want that. We want a static page, and the homepage should be the homepage, and the post page, you know, something else. For example, the sample page. And we now publish that, and we now go to neuraltutorial.com. And the first thing that we see is welcome to Neural Tutorials. There you go. This is how you have a basic homepage with Elementor. All right, but this page now doesn't look very good, so we're going to change a couple of things here. It's not going to be a WordPress tutorial per se, so I don't want to show you all the features. I also don't want to guide you through the process on how to design your website. That is a whole tutorial series on itself if we're going to talk about all the elements and how we should format text and so on. I'm just going to show you here how we can get rid of some annoying things. For example, this sidebar that we're not really interested in, how we can get a dark background, for example, how we can remove this up here, how we can adjust the permalink so that /home actually leads to home or /shop leads to shop and not page ID equals 6 or something. So we're going to take care of those things. And for this, we're going to go back to the dashboard and we're going to go to settings down here. And we're going to go to permalinks. Permalinks is basically how we find the individual pages, and as of right now it's plain, so basically saying neuraltutorial.com/p equals 123, and we're going to change this to be the post name, for example. So in this case, post name basically also means page name, I think. So we're going to just save this, and let's create another page. Let's say we have a new page that we would like to call, I don't know, let's call it about, I guess. So we're going to just call it about. There you go. And about, let's look at the permalink. There you go, URL slug is about. So if we just publish it right away, are you ready to publish? Yes, I am. We should be able, as you can see here, the link is http neuraltutorial.com/about, so I can view this page. And of course it's empty, but this is how it looks. And one thing that we can do here in general is we can define the structure of our page. And this is something we do at Customize. Now, we have been at Customize already. Customize is essentially what we did in the beginning. So if we go to the dashboard and we go to appearance here, this is the same Customize here. So appearance Customize, there you go. Or you can just, if you're logged in, go to Customize directly. So you can click on Customize and it also works. And here we can set a bunch of different settings. This is not the same as Elementor. If you want to manipulate different Elementor things, you're going to go into Elementor and select the specific things. But if you want to do something about the site in general, then you want to do it as customized. So for example, site identity, what is the title of the site? We don't want to have neuraltutorial.com. We want to have Neural Tutorial, for example. This is what we want to have up here. So we don't have the link anymore. We actually have Neural Tutorial as a brand. So in my case, it would be NeuralNine. In your case, it would be something else, whatever you want to have there. And for example, just another WordPress site is not right. The most special website on earth is a little bit better. We can also say, okay, we don't want to display it. So we can just remove that if you don't want to see it. And of course, you can also add your icon. So if you go to neuralnine.com, you're going to see that I have an icon on the top left corner. If you want to have one, you can do that here. So besides that, we can choose the colors. So header text color can be chosen here. Let's see what changes here. As you can see, now it's a little bit more gray. If I go to green, you can see that the color changes to green. So we're just going to leave it at... Actually, we should probably go with white because I'm interested in a black background. So we're going to leave it like that for now. Can we actually do this here? So, okay, this is just header. Menus, we can also create some menus. We can just say create new menu, top bar, basic navigation, for example. We go with next, and here we're going to add the items. We have home, we have the sample page, and we have about. This is what we want to have. So if we go back, you can see that we have a navigation up here. Again, everything that we add to this page, be it with Elementor, be it with Customize, can be redesigned and restructured in 1,000 ways. So I'm not going to show you here how to design your website properly. This is a process that takes some time. I'm just showing you all the options here. It is your job to play around with that because that is where the fun comes from. But you can see all sorts of things here. General options, for example, general styling. We can say, okay, what is the primary color of the page? What is the hover color of the page? What is the background color? We want to change this to black, for example, here, or to a very dark gray, for example. We can also set a background image if we want. We can set the basic color to white. We can, by the way, all this here, all these colors have to be set in Elementor because we have created them in Elementor and we chose black as their color. So if we want to have them be white, we would have to go into Elementor and change them to white. We cannot change them here with general styling. What is the main border color? Oh, that's this here. And in general, we can also just set some general settings. So what is the setting of the page? Do we want to have a right sidebar? No, we don't want to have a right sidebar. Okay, so let's go with full width and boom, the sidebar is gone. This is what the website looks like right now. Now we can also, if we choose a sidebar, we can also set the width and so on. All sorts of different things that you want to play around with, page title and so on. What is the error page? And is there a header? There you go, header, general. We can choose a background color here. Let's say I want to choose black. There you go, now it's black. Border bottom color is also black. What do we have else here? This is the menu. We can also set menu colors. So I'm not going to design the page here for you or for this tutorial, because the reason for this video is not to show you how to use the individual tools in every detail. But you can see if you want to change something about the general website here, so the navigation, the title, the logo, the title up here. So not just here, but also what it says up here. If you want to change that, you do that at Customize, and you publish the changes. And if you want to change a specific site, for example, if we reload this right now, you want to change that part here in Elementor, we can just go with Edit with Elementor, and we can now change the colors back to, oh, it's a little bit laggy right now. I'm sorry for that. It's because I'm recording and my laptop is not the most powerful device out there. But if we want to change something here, we just go and say, for example, style, and there you go. Now the color is white. Update the changes. And if we go to Neural Tutorial now, there you go. This is what the website looks like. All right, so I mentioned a couple of times that I'm not going to waste too much time on design here, so we're going to stop talking about it right now. Play around with Elementor, play around with Customize. The only last thing that I want to mention is that if you're using the Ocean theme, that you can go to plugins, add new, and you can download or you can install the Ocean Extra plugin. So just type Ocean and you're going to see the Ocean Extra plugin, which allows you to have even more widgets and boxes and customization settings and so on. So if you want to play around with even more, just go with Ocean Extra. What we do want to take care of though is this insecure connection up here. There's nothing more unprofessional than going to a website and seeing that it does not support HTTPS, especially if you're selling something. If you have any products to sell on your website, you want to have HTTPS. Otherwise, it's just, first of all, it's insecure, but it also does not look professional. As you can see, I'm connected using HTTP here, and if I try to connect using HTTPS, it's going to say secure connection failed because I don't have an SSL certificate. So what we have to do is we have to go back to Hostinger, and it says SSL certificate activation pending setup. We're going to go to setup here, install SSL certificate, select a website you would like to install SSL to, neuraltutorial.com, install SSL, and you're going to see that it is as simple as that. SSL will be automatically installed. That is what I meant by user-friendly. It is a lifetime SSL. Let's Encrypt. It's free. It never expires. And one thing that I would always recommend you to do, no matter what, is to force HTTPS, because there's no reason to allow HTTP unless you have some specific reasons in mind for why you want to do it. Then of course do it. If you know why you want it, just do it. But if you don't have a specific reason for why you want to allow HTTP, always force HTTPS. This basically means that if someone types neuraltutorial.com, or even if they type HTTP neuraltutorial.com, they will be redirected to HTTPS neuraltutorial.com automatically by the server. So it has to install it right now. So it is installing it at the moment. Once it's done, we're going to force HTTPS, and then you're going to see that it works. All right, so it's done, and it actually already forces HTTPS. So let's go back to the website. You can see insecure neuraltutorial.com. Let's just reload this. As you can see, HTTPS neuraltutorial.com, and it says connection secure. So this is definitely something that you want to do on your page, especially if you're a shop, especially if you're selling courses or something, but also if you're just a blog, also if you just have some content on your page, if it's just a basic landing page where you tell people about your life. You want to have HTTPS. It just looks better. It does not look good. Even for users that don't understand what HTTPS even is, it does not look good to have an insecure connection. You always want to have HTTPS here. So last but not least, I want to show you NeuralNine from an Elementor perspective, from a WordPress perspective here. so that you just can get some inspiration, so that you can see that I have built my page the same way that I just showed you, even though I didn't go through all the individual steps of which button, with which color, with which effect you can use. This is something that you have to play around with. But on my page, I'm using the Ocean theme, I'm using Elementor, I'm using WordPress. And you can see, for example, my logo is an image box. This right here is a button that has a link as an action. So if you click it, you go down to that anchor up here, which is also an element here. Here we have blog posts, here we have boxes, and we have links, and we have animations and all that. On my book page here, you can see images. Oh, it's lagging again. I need to get a new laptop, I think. But you can see here, I have images with buttons. I have an about page with social buttons down here. So all this is done with Elementor. My whole page is done with Elementor and some customization settings in Ocean. In the same way, if you like my website, I wouldn't say my website is the best website out there. I wouldn't say that it has a lot of functionality, but I think for what I'm doing, for creating content, this is a good website. And if you want to have a similar website or even a way better website, you can do that with WordPress, Elementor, Hostinger, and the Ocean theme in the exact way I showed you. You just have to play around. And since this video is not an Elementor tutorial and not a WordPress tutorial, but just a general how to get started with your first website tutorial, I think that is a good start. If you want to see more content in that direction, let me know in the comment section down below, and we can do a lot more videos on web development, web design, how to create your first website, how to use specific elements in Elementor, how to create a portfolio of your GitHub projects and so on, or maybe even how to create a web app using Django and Flask. If you want to know stuff like that, let me know in the comment section down below. Depending on your feedback, we're going to do more videos like that in the future. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget that you have the NeuralNine coupon code in the description down below for Hostinger. If you choose to build your own website, you can go to Hostinger and get cheaper prices with NeuralNine, the coupon code. The steps that I showed today are not unique to any specific hosting service, so the tutorial was a general tutorial, but it's easier to follow along with Hostinger. So if you choose to use them, you can replicate all the steps step by step. For other hosting services, you will have to use different steps to install WordPress. Maybe you have to do it manually. You will have to use different steps to enable the certificate. You will have to use different steps to log into WordPress, because in Hostinger, you just have to click and you're in the dashboard. For other services, you have to get a password and a username and so on. So the steps are not just for Hostinger, but you can do the exact same thing that I did in Hostinger if you want to use it. Besides that, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section if you want to see more videos like that. Hit the like button, and of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to not miss a single future video for free. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video, and bye.